Welcome back to the deep dive. Ever felt like your own brain is kind of working against you sometimes? Today, we're getting into something that quietly pulls the strings behind, well, what you crave, what you focus on, even why you suddenly lose 40 minutes staring at your phone. We are talking about dopamine, that brain chemical shaping your life way more than you probably think. And this deep dive, it's based on some really great insights from dopamine, architect of motivation and master of habits.
Absolutely. And our mission today, for you listening, is pretty straightforward. We want to unpack what dopamine really is, how it affects those everyday things we do without thinking like, yeah, the endless scrolling. And crucially, how you can actually get back in the driver's seat. The goal is to shift from feeling like a passenger reacting to urges to really driving your own focus and motivation.
Okay, so let's tackle that big one first, the common idea. Dopamine as the pleasure chemical. We hear that a lot, but you often hear it called the motivation molecule instead. What's the real difference there? Is it just about pleasure, or is it more that anticipation?
That distinction is spot on. It is more about motivation. While pleasure is definitely part of the picture, dopamine's main job isn't the feeling of pleasure itself. It's more the drive to get something that might bring pleasure. Think of it like your brain's little prediction machine, always looking for the next reward. Evolutionarily, that was super important, right? Drove us to find food, connect with others.
Ah, okay.
But now, our world is just flooded with easy rewards. And that same system it can trap us. Its main message is basically, that felt good or might feel good. Do it again.
So it's less about enjoying the chocolate and more about that feeling of wanting the next piece, or hearing a notification ping and thinking, ooh, maybe someone liked my post. That pull before you even get the thing.
Exactly that. It's the anticipation. Dopamine surges to make sure you seek out that potential reward again. It's the engine of wanting, really.
Okay, let's connect that to something we all know, the phone. Seriously, who hasn't picked it up just to check one quick thing? And then you look up and boom, half an hour, maybe more, just gone, vanished.
Oh yeah, classic dopamine loop in action. Every single time you open an app, scroll the feed, see a notification, each one is a tiny gamble for a reward. A little hit of novelty, connection, information. Your brain learns super fast. Hey, checking the phone might give me a little boost.
Right.
And so you check it again. And again, it's incredibly efficient at learning that pattern.
And that leads to that feeling where it's not enough anymore, right? You need more scrolling, more checking just to get that same little buzz.
Precisely. Tolerance builds up.
Yeah.
The brain adapts. It starts expecting those frequent hits. So you need a bigger hit or more frequent hits to feel the same level of, let's say, engagement or satisfaction.
Yeah.
It's like chasing something that keeps moving further away. But here's the thing, and this is important. It's easy to beat yourself up. Think it's weak willpower. It's not. Your brain is just doing its job, the job it evolved for, chasing dopamine. The problem is the environment, filled with these super potent, low-effort triggers, which brings us neatly to what the source material calls the dopamine loop. It's a cycle, a really powerful one, basically 4 steps. 1, you want something, there's a cue, a trigger. 2, you anticipate getting the reward. This is where dopamine really spikes. 3, you actually get the reward or do the action. You scroll, you eat the snack, whatever it is. 4, and this reinforces the whole thing, makes you more likely to repeat that behavior next time the cue appears. It wires the habit in.
Yeah, you can see it so clearly. That loop drives binge watching Netflix when you know you should work. Dopamine, that automatic reach for the phone constantly. Dopamine again. But then that same drive can push you to go for a run every morning, right? Or get really absorbed in a project you care about.
Exactly. It's the same mechanism. The key is what gets linked to the dopamine release. Is it the short-term hit from the phone? Or is it the satisfaction of finishing a tough workout or making progress on a meaningful goal? The loop itself isn't good or bad. It's about what habit it builds. And now, here's where it gets really interesting, the twist. Dopamine isn't just about pleasure, distraction, or basic urges. It's also fundamentally linked to effort, to learning, to focus.
Wait, so it's not just the enemy of focus, it can actually be the focus chemical? I think I read that in the source, higher dopamine can actually mean more motivation for goals.
That's absolutely right. Studies do show that. Higher baseline levels, or the ability to release dopamine in response to challenge and progress, are linked to greater motivation, persistence, goal achievement. It helps you push through difficulty when you anticipate the eventual reward of succeeding.
Okay, that changes things.
It really does. The crucial difference, then, isn't dopamine itself, but what your brain learns to associate it with. Can you train your brain to release dopamine not just for the easy hit, but for the effort involved in deep work? for exercise,
Mm.
for learning something new. If you can do that, you're essentially reprogramming your own motivation system for success. You're directing the power.
So this is huge for everyone listening. How do we actually do that? How do we stop being kind of pushed around by these dopamine triggers and start using it deliberately? What are the practical steps?
Okay, let's break down the strategies from the source. There are 4 main ones. First, remove low-quality triggers. This is about making those easy, unhelpful hits harder to get. Turn off notifications you don't absolutely need. Maybe move those tempting apps off your home screen into a folder, or even off your phone temporarily. The source uses a great phrase, out of sight, out of loop. Make the trigger less visible, less immediate.
Okay, makes sense. Less temptation.
Second, delay gratification. This is about building a pause between the urge and the action. A simple way is the 10-minute rule. Feel the urge to check social media, grab that unhealthy snack, whatever. Just tell yourself, okay, I can do that, but I'll wait 10 minutes. Often, after 10 minutes, the urge has lessened or you've decided against it. It trains your brain to tolerate that feeling of wanting without immediately acting. Build self-control muscle.
I like that. Just creating a little space.
Third, create dopamine from effort. This is key. You need to consciously link dopamine to the process of doing hard things, not just the final outcome. So, track your progress. Break big tasks into smaller steps and acknowledge when you complete one. Maybe give yourself a small, healthy reward for putting in the time, for the consistency. You're teaching your brain, hey, focusing like this feels good, making progress. That's the reward.
So celebrating the small wins,
Yeah.
basically. Exactly. Rewarding the effort itself. And the fourth one, do dopamine fasting, but with balance. Now, this doesn't mean eliminating all pleasure. It means intentionally setting aside time with minimal external stimulation. No screens, maybe no music, just quiet time. Allow yourself to be a bit bored. Why? Because it can help reset your brain's sensitivity. When you're constantly bombarded with high dopamine triggers, the simple things lose their appeal. A bit of fasting can make normal life, simple pleasures, feel more rewarding again. It recalibrates the system.
Right. It's not about getting rid of dopamine entirely. You couldn't and you wouldn't want to. It's about becoming more intentional, mastering where it comes from, directing it towards things that actually matter to you long term.
That's the heart of it. The big takeaway here is you are not defined by your urges or your distractions. You have the capacity to be the architect of your own attention. And dopamine, that's your tool. Understand it, respect it, and you can use it to build the life you want, instead of letting it build habits you regret. You stop being reactive, you start being proactive.
Which leads to a really powerful question the source leaves us with. So ask yourself, what am I unintentionally training my brain to crave right now? And more importantly, what could I train it to love instead? Really makes you think.
It does, and maybe a simple first step for everyone listening. Just spend one day, maybe tomorrow, observing your own patterns. Where do you feel those pulls? What triggers you? No judgment, just observation. See what you notice. That awareness alone can be the start of taking back control.